And welcome back to the New York Jets franchise rebuild. Here today will be the fourth offseason for the Jets team and of this rebuild. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. Please leave a like, comment down below what you thought, and don't forget to subscribe. So, we're in our fourth offseason, we're entering into year 4 and our third offseason to improve this team in various different ways. And as I was sitting down and taking my notes like I usually do, I was really thinking about how I wanted to present this offseason to you guys. But I think what we should start off with is the talking point at quarterback, just to get it completely out of the way. As we're going to enter into this new season, we will be turning to young quarterback Steven James here. He's 25 years old. We traded Zach Wilson in a third-round pick to get him. He's a second-year quarterback. He hasn't played that much this year. As we started Daniel Jones, here are his ratings. I know that with negative morale, they're being effective, but he has, solid short accuracy and deep, and very good medium accuracy, which just doesn't make sense. But comparatively, between James and Jones, they're basically kind of like the same tier of quarterback in terms of ratings. I just think James has a higher ceiling, as well as James does have that 92 throw power, as Jones only has 89. So basically, my thought process here at the quarterback position is we will be pretty much bringing in a new veteran. We're going to let Daniel walk and let him test the market. I would be willing to bring back Daniel on a 1-year contract just because of the season that he had with us, but I would rather give him the opportunity to become a starter somewhere else. And then when I start to look at the rest of this roster, I really sit back and question, what can I do to add new difference makers to this team? And I look at our offense right now, and I don't think that there's really anything we should really try to change. We don't need to force a change. I think we have a quality offensive line. I think we have 3 very good wide receivers, a very good tight end. Sure, in my opinion, from an explosiveness perspective, Michael Carter is not that type of runner. But from a grinder, Carter can do exactly what I want him to do. And so I'm not going to be forcing any sort of change at running back position. If there is a difference maker at the running back position, yes, I will try to make a signing with that. But, we're not going to draft a running back. There's a running back that I like that's projected to go into the first round, but I'm not going to force it. But when we go to the defensive side of the ball, I think we have to have a little bit of a change of mind here. When I look at our defense, I look at John Franklin Myers and Jonathan Jackson and Quinton Williams as our 3 players that should be making a difference on this defense. But, this year, Quinton had he played only half the snaps and he struggled. And relying on a second-year defensive end is, he's gonna have his inconsistencies. So I really want to add some difference makers to this defense, and 3 areas to this is actually at each level: defensive tackle, corner, and linebacker. If there's an opportunity for a veteran off-ball linebacker, absolutely I'm going to target him, because no matter how much I like Cashman and Jalen Smith, they're both in their late 20s. And, they are going to soon enough regress. Cashman here is 28 years old. He's a good linebacker, don't get me wrong, but he's not like a Miles Jack type of linebacker. Same thing with Jalen Smith. It's the same type of perspective. He's 29 years old. He's entering his 9th season. He's a good cover linebacker, but these guys are really starters because they're athletes. That 87 speed, 90 speed really keeps them on the field. And the reason I want to try to find a difference maker in this secondary is because Adante Jackson, when we signed him, I really expected him to become a shutdown #1 corner, and he really hasn't been. These ratings aren't particularly the best. He's fast, he can make tackles. He was, I think, 3rd on this team with tackles with 99. But, 2 years here, 4 interceptions. I need to see, I want him to have that, 4 interceptions, 5 interception type of season, and that's what I'm going to really be looking for. Jackson on this team is probably one of the players that potentially could be moved. He has 2 years left on his contract, and I just don't know if he's really viable to stay. But, if I do decide to keep Jackson, there's not a linebacker in this free agency period, and we still bring in a corner, because I will be trying to target a corner this year in free agency. Maybe we'll do some weird stuff with, putting Jalen Buns at linebacker, putting Jackson or Michael Hampton at safety, and just kind of flipping around this defense a little bit. Because, this defense is we have a very good defense, but we just don't make the necessary turnovers. Now, obviously, on the offensive side of the ball, the #1 concern that I have is myself, because I just throw so many turnovers, and I need to be able to not do that. So hopefully this up-and-coming season we're able to do so. But let's go take a quick look at 2 things. Let's take a look at the Pro Bowl list, and then let's take a look at the league leaders in terms of stats and stuff, and then we'll go through the Super Bowl and get right into the offseason. So here's the Pro Bowl list. Let's just focus heavily on the AFC. So at quarterback, I don't see Daniel Jones here. Michael Carter did not make it. Seth Knox did. He's the #1 fullback, so he made his 2nd Pro Bowl. We do not have any receivers, no one at tight end. I'm not expecting any offensive linemen, and we don't. So far, not really seeing any defensive linemen. That's surprising. I don't see either of our 2 edge rushers making this. It's kind of unfortunate. At linebacker, Jalen Smith didn't make it, so that might bring him up to superstar development. And in the secondary, no one. And other than that, Chris Boswell made it. So only 3 Pro Bowlers. Not a lot of people not a lot of our players represented the Pro Bowl and in the yearly awards. So definitely disappointed there, but that's okay. Let's go check out the league leaders and stats. At the end of last episode, I went through our stats. I'm not going to go through them again, but we'll quickly go through, who leads this league in passing yards and stuff like that. So Clinton here, the Tampa Bay starting quarterback, he led this league in yards, and he's a very good young prospect. He can't really throw it short, but 45 touchdowns, 15 interceptions is very good. And Mahomes is right behind him. Let's see if Clinton did lead us in touchdowns this season, as well as Russell was right behind him. In terms of turnovers, we know it's Daniel Jones. Baker Mayfield has 20 as well. Surprisingly, Daniel Bennett got 18. But not too many other surprises, I think, here at the quarterback position. When we turn to the running back, Nick Chubb led this league in rushing. Behind him, Derrick Henry and Ezekiel Elliott. Let's see if we find any, auto-drafted players who are starting here at running back. I don't think we're getting any starters just yet. Maybe we get someone with touchdowns. Joe Mixon did lead the league in 20. And I don't see anyone. Lynn Pyramid here. He's the auto-generated young running back behind Derrick Henry with 14. Let's turn to receiving. DK Metcalf led with 1,400 receiving yards. Spencer Short was right behind him with 1,300. Short did lead this league in catches, and the league leader in touchdowns is Robert Woods. Turning over to the defense, Jalen Smith led the league in tackles. I don't know if this bug is still in this game, but John Franklin Myers, Josh Allen, Chris Jones, and Jonathan Jackson, to me, they're all tied for number 1 in sacks in the AFC. And then Sean Murphy-Bunting with 7 interceptions for the AFC. DJ Reader with 7 as well for the NFC. And then Brian Burdens with 22.5 sacks. So we have a new sack leader. Congratulations to Burns. Aaron Donald also has 20 with Khalil Mack with 19. So those are the stats. I wanted to quickly go through those with you guys before I forgot. But before we get into, the meat of the offseason, let's sim to the next week. Let's see who is going to be winning in the Super Bowl, and we'll go through the game fairly quickly. Well, actually, no. Well, we're here. We are in Super Bowl week. Let's actually take a look at the roster, because this is Super Bowl week. We'll see if we have any new players who got any development traits. As I look at our offense, Sean Samuel, Michael Carter didn't get any. I don't see Daniel didn't go up a depth trait. I don't see anyone here. And then defensively, Blake Cashman went up to superstar development, so that's huge. Wow, I really thought it was actually going to be Jalen Smith, but Cashman got the depth trait instead, so that's very good for him to continue to progress as a playmaker. So overall, 1 new depth trait. I saw that we have a few upgrades, so we'll quickly go through that. We have 1 upgrade, Jonathan Jackson. With Jackson, we're just gonna go with run stopper. I've been trying to make him an all-around pass rusher that can stop the run and provide solid power moves and finesse moves. And he's much more of a power rusher right now, but this probably year we'll focus on the finesse a little bit more. But let's sim to the next week. Let's see who will win the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 58. It's the Seattle Seahawks versus the LA Chargers. Who will win Super Bowl 58 here? As it will be a very high scoring game here, as the Seahawks won 42-38. Let's go to schedule and let's just kind of look at the box score playoff picture. How did this game? So this was a high scoring game. The Chargers didn't try to make a comeback there in the 4th quarter, putting up 28 points. Wow. But Wilson and his team was able to beat Justin Herbert. Solid day for the running game. Keenan Allen went over 100 yards. Who scored some touchdowns? Got a few players getting some touchdowns. And then defensively, did the defense play any sort of role? Well, no sacks, 1 interception. Did that turnover go for a touchdown? Let's see. No. But high scoring game. The Seattle Seahawks are the team to beat now entering into this new season. As this is just a good little picture of what happened this season. So Deshaun Watson was the NFL MVP, Jack Martin Coach of the Year, Joe Mixon, Brian Burns, respectfully Offensive Defensive Player of the Year, Ian Culver, Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Defensive Rookie of the Year, Jonathan Jackson. Seattle won the Super Bowl, and Russell Wilson was the MVP of the Super Bowl. So Seattle won their 4th Super Bowl, their 2nd Super Bowl title, excuse me. But now, let's sim into the next week. We will have the re-signing phase. I don't know how much of re-signing we're going to be doing at this stage. There's a few players that I definitely want to bring back, but I don't know just yet in terms of veterans. We also do have retirements here. Let's quickly go through that. I know I talk about one thing. It's just kind of me talking right now. So AJ Boyd, Jason Kelsey, those guys retired. Harrison Smith, Julio Jones, Cameron Hayward, Cameron Jordan, Rob Gronkowski, Casey Hayward, Aaron Rodgers, J.J. Watt. A lot of big name players are retiring from our league. Let's quickly check out the Jets and see if we have any sort of retirements. I don't think we did. And we did not. No. So no one from our team retired. So that's nice. But we have 15 players we need to re-sign here. As you guys can see, not really any big name starters, a lot of quality depth players, as well as we do have regression that just hit. So yet again, let's just get the easy one out of the way here. Daniel Jones, it's a 3-year, $40 million contract. I know I can give this to him. It's just that I would rather for Daniel to get an opportunity to be a starting quarterback. He would be a backup for us. So if we bring him back, it's going to be a shorter term deal. That's a little bit less money, and it's going to be for him to be a backup. I would rather give him an opportunity to be a starter. So Daniel is not coming back. We're going to withdraw that offer. Cohen, he was a starter for us, and I see his speed and acceleration didn't change too much. He's a player that I'm going to let test, but he's a player that I'm interested in bringing back. Denzel Mims, definitely not bringing him back. Chris Boswell, didn't really like him as a kicker. You know, well, he might come back. I just don't want to give him this 1-year deal. I think I can get him for cheaper. There is 2 signings that we will make, and Rashad Hand, he's a player that I might bring back on a 1-year deal, but I don't want to offer it to him. But let's start with Devin McKnight. Wants a 1-year, about $4 million. I'm going to give this to him. We'll bump it up a tad bit. McKnight here, he's been a developmental a defensive tackle for us who's been mostly focused on power moves. So 1 year, $4 million. We have the cap space. Might as well give it to him. He's quality depth for this defense. And then the last player is Kurt Drayton here, who wants a 1-year deal. I'm actually going to make it a 2-year deal. He was an undrafted kid, no guaranteed money. I really like him, and he could potentially play corner for us, and that's kind of what I like about him. So let's change this up. 2 years, $2 million, no guarantees, so he could be cut at any time. But for the rest of these players here, I don't really have much interest. We have a lot of players that I am going to have to, or a lot of positional groups that we're going to have to get better quality depth. But we're going to enter probably this offseason with about $80 million in cap space. So we're going to have plenty of room to make any sort of moves that we need to make. Let's go see this year's free agency class. We have $80 million to work with. We have to find some difference makers, and Terram Armstead leads this class with a 93 overall. Derek Brown is out there, 90 overall. Tyler Boyd, Justin Tucker, Chase Claypool, Austin Hooper. Wow. There's a lot of good playmakers out here and a lot of players that I actually have a lot of interest in. Let's start off though with the quarterback position, and Tom Brady's out there. I'm not going to bring in Tom Brady, as we do see Pittsburgh is making an offer here to Daniel Jones. I'm not going to be making an offer to Daniel. Tannehill is a player that I do have written down, but the problem with bringing in Ryan Tannehill is that he does want $20 million, and I'm not going to pay him that. And I don't want to really add too much competition. I want to make sure that James is our quarterback. So maybe there's a guy down here, maybe like a Big Ben. We could bring back Tyler Huntley, Mitchell Trubisky. But let's look around the rest of the positions. AJ Dillard is the leading runner, so there's not really too many big-time running backs. There are a good amount of wide receivers, at least 3 starting caliber. And Austin Hooper's out there at tight end. I'm not going to bring in a new tight end, though. We're not really targeting offensive line this year, but here are the notable names. DeMarcus Lawrence is out there at defensive end. I mean, he's an interesting prospect for his run-stopping ability. But Derek Brown, Fletcher Cox, Grover Stewart, BJ Hill, this is an area where I do want to focus on. I do want to bring in a new defensive tackle. And both of these guys I have interest in. Carl Lawson's a free agent. Nothing really here standing out at middle linebacker. D'Amico Davis here at middle linebacker. Where is his speed at? 70, 85. Demario Davis, I think I mispronounced his name the first time. He is definitely a player I'm interested in actually bringing in here. Okay. Nothing at right outside linebacker. James Bradbury's out there. Darius Slay, Marcus Peters. There's a few solid corners. And that is the position that I do want to focus in on. Marcus Mace is out there. Let's start off with Demario Davis here. I do want to give him a one-year deal, and I don't want to lowball him, but I want to take down the salary a little bit and then bump up the signing bonus. It's just going to be a 1 year. It's going to be right around the same type of money that he wants, a 1 year, $5 million type, 5 year, 1 year, $5 million. Okay, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Okay, 79 points. I think he should take this, even if he comes in here just to be quality depth. That's what we need here at our off-ball linebacker. Now, defensive tackle. The question that I really ask myself when I'm looking at this is, do I want to give a long-term contract to Derek Brown? Because, you know, $10 million a year for really a very good run stopper, it's definitely intriguing. You know, he would help our running game. We did let out multiple times 200-yard runners this past season, and he would really fix that. Or do we go after Fletcher Cox here on a 1 year deal and really trying to make a Super Bowl run, and he is much more of a pass rusher, and he can stop the run. He's one of the best defensive tackles to ever play this game. I don't know. This is something that I'll definitely have to think about here. DeMarcus Lawrence is another one, and Lawrence would be that player that I would bring in as that other quality depth defensive lineman that he can also kind of stop the run too. He can kind of play on the inside just as much as he can play on the outside too. This is interesting. Not really looking to add any offensive lineman, at least at this stage. Wide receiver, I do see that Brandon Cooks did go down a lot. He did get a lot of regression. In terms of running back, I don't really know just yet. We'll pick one. Let's actually do this. In terms of defensive tackle, let's bring in let's do a 1 year deal with Fletcher Cox. Let's make this a very competitive 1 year, $10 million type of deal. You know, I would really like to bring in Cox in to play next to Quentin Williams for a season, and he would be a difference maker in terms of a defensive line. And we do need to bump this up a little bit more. So let's 1 year, let's make it like 12-ish, 12.4. That works. Hopefully that puts us at the number one bid, and it does. So we'll try to get Cox in here, 1 year, $12 million. And let's now go to corner. So let's start with the big three. James Bradbury here, 1 year, $8 million. Okay, so he still has 90 speed. His coverage ability is very good. I don't know if he would still be that shutdown corner, but hey, he has very good man and zone coverage. Darius Slay here. Yet again, 92 speed. His coverage abilities are a little lower, so regression definitely hit him. And then Marcus Peters here, who definitely has the ability to be a big playmaker with that 82 catching. I think in terms of these big three corners, because I do want to bring one of these guys in, let's go after Bradbury. Let's give him, I'm willing to give him this contract. 1 year, pretty much $9 million. He will come in here and hopefully become, you know, a very solid contributor and hopefully add some more turnovers to our defense. As we're still sitting here now with $54 million still in cap, These are the three big name players on the defense, and these are the three positional groups that I definitely wanted to be targeting. Now I'm gonna go take a quick look at around the rest of this, because I think we're gonna basically use the rest of this stage to bring in quality depth. So I'm gonna look around, find any solid players, solid new players, and I'll let you guys know. So I went around going through position by position. I'm offering to, of course, Justin Tucker and Johnny Hecker here. Gotta bring in two legends at special teams. Trying to give them 3-year deals, not a ton of the signing bonus. You guys saw the James Bradberry signing, or attempting to, the Fletcher Cox. I am offering a 1-year, $6 million contract to BJ Hill. He's going to take over, I'm hoping, the role of Rashad Hand, being that backup run stopper. Trying to get Sterling Shepard to come in here on a 1-year deal. A lot of these contracts are 1-year deal, guys. I'm not looking to bring in a lot of players to multi-year deals. Trying to bring in Melvin Gordon. I think Gordon will be a better backup to Michael Carter, and just as much, I want to give Robert Gordon more opportunities. Charles Leno. Mekhi Becton has an injury problem, and that's why I'm bringing in Leno. Marco Lasky here. Doug Thomas has also dealt with injuries. Definitely want to bring him in. KJ Hamler, just for his deep threat, bring him in here for potentially for a role during the preseason. Jalen Hawkins here, just for that backup strong safety. And then Drew Lock, backup quarterback competition. And Ezekiel Knowles here. Knowles here, I'm offering actually a 3-year deal. He is a very interesting prospect. He has solid throw power, solid accuracies. He needs a little work, but I think from a backup quarterback developmental perspective, he could definitely come in here. I don't think he will he's not going to be challenging Stephen James for the starting role, but he will be definitely challenging Drew Lock for the backup positional spot. But before we sim to the next week, there is one more player that I am really, really considering, and you guys know me. You know that I love my defensive linemen. And DeMarcus Lawrence here is probably going to end up being... We're going to sim, though, to the next week. We're going to see if anyone targets him. I'm going to see if anyone offers to him next after this, after we sim. But if no one does, we'll definitely offer him a 1-year deal. I would love to have Lawrence on this team to be that backup edge rusher to Jonathan Jackson, and we would have a very, very good depth on the defensive line. Before we do sim to the next week, there is one thing that I want to do. I want to attempt to make a couple trades here. Right now, I don't want to trade Dante Jackson, but there is a player that I want to trade for. He's a young prospect that I do like, and I think we can bring him in. So I'm going to try to offer it to him. I'll show you guys the end result if we can get him. And the deal is done here. We are bringing in J.J. Cunningham, and we traded away our 5th round pick. Let me go show you guys the reason I decided to trade for Cunningham. Cunningham is an off-ball linebacker who is very young, and I really like him because of his age. He still has 2 years left on his contract. 25 years old, field general type of archetype, but he has 90 speed, 72 zone coverage. He's a good tackler. He needs a little bit of work in the run stopping department. I think he's a little undersized. He's 5'11", 230 pounds. He's not the biggest guy, but he has that speed, the acceleration, he has star development, and I want to give him a role on this team. He has not played for Cleveland at all, and I want to give him an opportunity here. So trading away one of our 5th round picks to go get him, and I think he can provide either A, quality depth, or B, potentially competing for one of these 2 starting jobs here. We shall see. There is another trade that I do want to make or attempt to. We will see. Of of course, this is another young prospect that I do like. I don't know if they will trade with me, but I'm going to offer them a late round pick and see if it works. And the deal is done. We are trading for second-year running back Adam Wright, trading away this year's 6th and next year's 5th round pick. We have 2 6s this year. Let me show you guys Adam Wright. Adam is a very young prospect at running back. He's a kid that I really liked. He was a guy I wanted to draft last year, but never had the opportunity to. But Adam here, he's 6'1". He's more of a power guy, but he has 91 speed, 90 acceleration, 80 strength. One thing I am looking for is to find the quality depth behind Michael Carter. And Adam Wright will bring in good competition here. I don't know about Isaiah Hurts. He dealt with injuries. He's not the fastest kid. And, we have a lot of, Carter, Gordon, and if we bring in Melvin Gordon, we're going to have a lot of running backs on their last year of their deals. And, we're going to have to make some tough decisions. So Adam gives us a young prospect for the next 3 years. And it's really going to probably drive me away to drafting a running back. So I got the 2 young players. Let me show you guys now our draft pick situation. So we have a 1, a 2, 2 4s, a 6, and a 7. This is exactly what I want. I don't want to have to draft like 7 players. Right now it's 6. There might be another trade. We might trade up in this year's class, or we might be trading out of this 2nd round pick. But let's go sim to the next week and see if we brought in any new free agents. And as you guys can see down below, we have a lot of new guys. Melvin Gordon, Fletcher Cox is a new defensive tackle, Ezekiel Knowles, Demario Davis, Johnny Hecker, Charles Leno, Sterling Shepard, and James Bradbury. We got a lot of playmakers coming to this team. Let's go check out free agency. We still have $23 million to play with, so we still have plenty of cap. And as you guys can see, Johnny Hecker's contract demand has gone up. Same with BJ Hill. Jalen Hawkins, the Vikings came in, and Drew Lock. Okay, so most likely I'm going to withdraw from Drew Lock here and Jalen Hawkins. We'll find a different veteran quarterback and a different veteran safety. But let's retool Hecker's contract. I don't really think that we need to bring in BJ Hill. This is too much competition for me. But I'm going to rework Johnny Hecker's contract and try to get him here on a 1-year deal. Okay, so I decided to rework Justin Tucker's contract. We're the #1 bid. It's about a 1-year, $6 million deal. Because of the fact that Grover Stewart has no contract offers, I decided to just give him this baseline offer here. 1 year, $7 million. We have the cap space to do so, and he would be a quality backup, run-stopping defensive tackle for us. And then Colby Watson here. I'm gonna try to give him a 1-year deal, bring him in here just to be quality depth at safety. Now you guys might be wondering, well, what about DeMarcus Lawrence? Lawrence has some competition here. Really the question, if I'm gonna sit here and bring in Lawrence, is I think if I'm going to bring in Lawrence, I should probably take the contract offer off of Grover Stewart, excuse me. So let's really think about this. Stewart is a complete run-stopping defensive lineman, defensive tackle. How old is he? He's 30 years old, so, he's going to be around the league for a good amount of time, and I think he will always be a good run stopper. In terms of DeMarcus Lawrence, this is definitely going to be interesting. He has solid finesse moves and good power moves. He has good strength. I think if we're sitting here, if I'm really being honest with myself, Lawrence is probably the better backup player, but I don't think, this is tough. Because I really would like to bring in DeMarcus Lawrence. Oh, man. Do I just say fuck it and just bring in both? We have the cap. Yeah, let's do that. So if we bring in DeMarcus Lawrence here, we'll give him a 1-year, $7 million contract. We're trying to win a Super Bowl this year, guys. Wow, Titans have a really big offer. So let's bring down this a little bit and bring this up. Let's bring that to, let's see what that changes in his mind. That literally didn't move the needle at all. Or that just did nothing. Okay. 1 year, $8 million. I still would like some cap. Still doesn't give us first place. Man, the Titans must really need him. Yeah, I don't really want to make another AFC team better. So let's try to make this a 1 year, $9 million. Yeah, this is just not gonna work. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna go anything. I'm not gonna give him, no. Okay, we'll try to get Grover Stewart to come in here to be the backup defensive lineman. Maybe we'll draft an edge rusher. You guys know me, I love my edge rushers, but let's sim to the next week. I know we're not really focusing too much right now on the draft, but we'll focus on that during stage 3 and stage 4. As we are entering into stage 4 here, or stage 3, we did get Watson to come in, Mike Galowski, Grover Stewart, and we got Justin Tucker, so we have a very good special teams. Let's go recheck out free agency. We'll go through where people are going as well. But KJ Hamler now has an offer here by the Titans. I would still like to bring in a deep threat at wide receiver. So let's quickly see who's out there. I don't really want to give like a big 1 year type of contract out there. Let's see Tyler Johnson real quick. I need him to have like 90 plus speed. Nelson Aguilar, 91. He doesn't have the best of hands. I don't want a guy who just drops the football every other play. For my Eagles fans out there, you know how it is. John Ross, maybe? What's his speed? Yeah, he still also doesn't have good hands. Man. Dante Pittman, no. St. Brown, Jalen Reagor. Let's see Rager's ratings real quick. Yeah, no. It's just not. Maybe we just won't be able to find a deep threat. Well, T.Y. Hilton, 90 speed. Yeah, he's just regressed so heavily. Okay. Well, maybe we won't be able to bring in a veteran receiver. Well, maybe we'll just actually go after a veteran receiver. Maybe we'll go after a player. Ooh, Ray McLeod. The problem with Ray is that we're going to have to give him his type of contract. Which I don't want to get into like that type of bidding war with. So, Will Fuller or Preston Parker? Will Fuller with that 95 speed would definitely be intriguing. Yeah, let's give him a 1 year deal to Will. I don't mind 1 year, $5 million. He'll come in here, probably be our 4th receiver. And who was the... Okay, yeah. We'll do that. Let's go check out league signings. So Terron Armstead goes back to the New Orleans Saints. The Jags bring in Derek Brown. Tyler Boyd going to Cleveland. Chase Claypool going to the Lions. Austin Hooper going to the Cardinals. So let's get Chenault is going to New England. So we're going to have to play against Chenault a couple times a year. Giants bring in Austin Colbert. JC Treader going to the Panthers. Darius Slay's going to the Giants. AJ Diller going to the Chiefs. Gus Edwards going to Houston. DeMarcus Lawrence did sign that 1 year, $7 million contract to Titans. I mean, we definitely offered him a bigger contract, but I guess maybe that's the signing bonus. I don't know. Carl Lawson going to the Chiefs. And Zach Moss going to the Saints. I'm not seeing too many other, like, biggest names. Hyde is going to the Vikings. And as well as BJ Hill's going to the Titans. So they really bolster up their defensive line. Not really seeing any of our teams going, or interconference players or bringing in too many players. I guess Sony Michel going to the Bills. But, I mean, who's still out there at quarterback? Because we still didn't bring in a veteran. You know, we brought in Knowles. I mean, Tom Brady's still out there. I'm not going to bring in Brady, guys. You know, maybe let's see if Matt Ryan's contract. I would like to have a veteran quarterback on this roster before the preseason. You know, Big Ben, I just don't think his throw power is any good. Yeah, I just don't know. I think we would have to try to get into a bidding war here, and I don't want to do that. But Daniel Jones is going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, so that's interesting. We'll see if he's the starting quarterback after the draft. But we do have a fifth-year option here. I think this is going to be for Elijah Van Tucker. It is. Okay, so we'll definitely pick this up because I want him to be around for the long-term future. So Tucker signed, so we picked that up. I don't think we have another fifth-year option. I don't think so. But we do have private workouts here. So let's go do this. This is the other thing that we need to do. So let's look at my favorites. Right now, if I was gonna really think about it, probably I'm thinking, I went through this and I found a few players that I definitely like. I know Dylan Henry is a player that I really want to get more information about. David York is another, and I really want the complete scouting report here on, or I want to get more information here on Don Duck. Duck might be a player that we secretly just drafted in the first round over a linebacker, so those will be the three. But let's quickly go through some of my favorite prospects in this year's draft. So Reuben Hill, Theodore Dickerson, two players I definitely want to get at least one of them. Here at wide receiver, Jerry Robinson and Don Duck, two guys I really like. They're both athletes. Delvin Springs and Delvin Collins here, two more powerful type of runners. I think Springs here is much more of a receiving back. It's either Springs or Collins. I don't remember which one. It's Springs. Okay. So, you know, Springs might be a player we target just because of his catching ability. But my favorite offensive lineman here is Ian Norman here, who has, you know, be in both pass and run block. My only concern here is that he is not the strongest. He's not the strongest tackle, and that definitely concerns me. He might be more of a guard, but hey, it would be mostly for a backup type of player. And then Owen Stafford here. I don't have a ton of information on him, but as a thrower of the football deep down the field, I think he will be a solid pocket passer in this league. I really don't know. There wasn't a ton of information on the quarterbacks I got, but we'll see. As we simulated to stage 4, Will Fuller did come in here. Let's go quickly check out the 3 players that we did advanced scouting in. I have no idea if it works. So Dylan Henry here. He's a possession tight end, which I knew that because of his catching ability. You know, he has solid speed, good strength. From an athletic standpoint, he has awareness, which definitely intrigues me. I think Dylan Henry would be a good tight end, and Juwan Johnson's contract is coming up, which is the reason I want to get Henry on this roster. David York here. He seems to be much more of a run stopper, which he is. Solid speed, good strength. I don't know what really that means, but he might be a solid, he would be a solid day 3 pick. Don't forget this, we have 2 4th-round draft picks. And then let's find Don Duck here. So he's a round 1 talent, so we have all the information here. So he's definitely a deep threat of receiver. He is the fastest in this class. He has elite speed. Overall, it looks like he would be an excellent athlete here and different change of a pace type of player. So Duck definitely intrigues me. But like I said, I really want to figure out our linebacker spot, which is why Reuben Hill, who I don't know his coverage ratings in terms of zone coverage, but at least I know he's a good solid run stopper. But Theodore Dickerson here, I know he has A zone coverage, which is why he's higher on my board in my eyes. But hopefully we can get one of them. If we get both of them, hey, that's even better. But after free agency and a couple trades here, here's how the roster looks right now from an offensive perspective. Not too many changes here, you know. Melvin Gordon's the new backup running back. Ezekiel Knowles here is the new backup quarterback. We brought in Sterling Shepard and Will Fuller in here. They're going to probably compete for the fourth receiver spot, but Sean Samuel's still our number 3 guy. You know, a couple new veteran offensive linemen. But this is where the difference is coming in, is on the defensive side of the ball. You know, we brought in James Bradbury, we brought in Fletcher Cox, we brought in Grover Stewart, which definitely, Tomlinson's role could definitely be, Tomlinson could be traded. I'm not going to trade him right now, but Tomlinson could be a player that, you know, is going to be leaving. But we also brought in Demario Davis here to be the backup here. But a lot of good changes. I think we did a very good job this offseason, at least in this free agency period. And now what do we need to do? Because I'm just going to go turn to my notes here. You know, I think right now what we need to be able to accomplish in this draft class is to find future talented players. You know, that's... and by us doing that, you know, will really help this team long term. Because right now we're kind of, with an unestablished quarterback, we're kind of going into this year with, you know, with a lot of contracts coming up. You know, we don't have a lot of people on multi-year contracts. We only have legitimately 4 players on 4+ year deals, and then everyone's on 3 or less. But we have a ton of players on 1-year deals, especially after this free agency year. But, you know, we're kind of going all in on this team right now. And if James can't lead us to victory, we're going to have to make some sort of an adjustment at quarterback sooner than later. So, which definitely brings up the question, should we try to bring in the quarterback that I like? I don't know just yet. We have... in this up-and-coming draft class, we have, what, we have a first, a second, 2 fourths, and a 6th and a 7th? Yeah. So we have 6 picks to work with. We'll see what we can do. So let's go sim to the draft. Like how I usually like to go through my draft classes is we go through the first round together, and then I start to kind of pick up the pace in terms of simulating. And then just kind of hyper focus on our draft pick. So let's go sim to the next week, and let's go see what new rookies we can bring in. And let's start the 2024 NFL Draft. Because I literally thought I just simmed past this stage. Okay, let's pause this draft here. So the Washington football team is here, first on the clock. Who will they target? I have no idea. And the first pick in this year 2024 NFL Draft will be Brent Hughes, wide receiver, Clemson. The New Orleans Saints are on the clock. This is where I do think a quarterback can go. So I think they will take the quarterback here. Oh no, they go Kareem Jackson here, the top tier corner. I know I didn't look at any mock drafts, and the reason I don't look at any of the mock drafts is because they kind of tell me who can go where, and I don't want to deal with that. As the Las Vegas Raiders drafted Mason Ross here, quarterback, Oregon State. The top tier quarterback just went off the board. Matthew Pittman, the big time guard, is now off the board. And now the Cardinals drafted a defensive tackle, Dante House. The Rams are on the clock. D'Angelo Jenkins might be replacing Aaron Donald soon. Lamar Wayne's corner going to the Broncos. The Steelers draft Nick Cohen here, defensive tackle, helping out that defensive line. Eric Wetzman, outside linebacker, going to the Ravens. And Detroit's drafting Don Duck, go with this. So the Lions just got themselves the fastest receiver, and he was going to be probably like the best player available on my board type of player, but I was not going to be trading up 14 or 13 spots to go get him. Nate Alexander going to the Patriots, so they just got a new corner. Keyshawn Lowen here going to the Falcons. The Dolphins, who do they go? TJ Potter, wide receiver. I really thought they had a good receiving core. I don't know. Michael Easton, left tackle, going to the 49ers. And no, we're not looking to trade up here. Colbert is going to the Packers as they've just lost Diller. Jerry Robinson. So both of my 2 wide receivers are off the board. He just went to the Texans, so no more wide receivers. So I'm not going to be tempted to draft a receiver here. William Bush. So this is one of the first linebackers to go off the board. Do not want to see Reuben Hills, and Reuben Hills is off the board now. So this definitely brings up, let's view the draft board here. So he was my top middle linebacker. So let's quickly see this. So, you know, right now, I guess, in terms of information, you know, I guess we would probably end up going Theodore, who should not be going in this. Let's check out Will Ellis here. I did check out a lot of these players earlier. Ooh, Will Ellis did not even participate. I didn't even know that. Don't really know his zone coverage, but Will Ellis here might not be another bad option. He might be more of a run stopper. But let's continue. We're 3 picks away, or 4 picks away, as the Jags will take Will Ellis. Okay, so we're not going to be drafting Ellis, as the New York Giants. The other New York team will go Darren Pollard, wide receiver. Chiefs will go. They get Christian Green, defensive tackle. And then the Chicago Bears will draft Jeff Melton here, left outside linebacker. Now we're on the clock. So what do we do here? So, you know, Dalvin Springs is on the board, and I'm not going to be drafting a running back here. I just don't see a reason to do so. Now, sure, we could go get, you know, a guy like Brandon Miles here, who's probably a very good right tackle, and basically have a security at tackle for at least the next few years, but let's not do that. See, how good is he? And it doesn't tell me his zone coverage. He's probably much more of a pass rusher, Lindman here, but I just don't think we'll go get him. Ah, man. This is definitely not how I expected the draft to start for us. Let's do this. Let's draft my guy. Let's go get him. Theodore Dickerson here. Right outside linebacker, good coverage, 5'11", 230 pounds. He's a smaller linebacker. You know, he has solid speed. He has elite speed, it says. So hopefully Dickerson can come in here and at least be quality depth. And that's what I wanted out of this first round draft pick. I want the 5th-year option and a linebacker that can be on this team for the next 5 years. So Dickerson here, normal development, but he has 86 speed, 90 acceleration, so he's a solid athlete. You know, overall wise, I have no idea, but normal dev definitely hurts. As let's finish off the first round here, and then we'll kind of take our time going through the second round. So now the Dallas Cowboys are on the clock, as they will draft Brandon Miles here, who's probably a very good tackle. And, you know, we might have just overdrafted Dickerson a little bit. And, you know, unless he goes out there and is like a 73, 74 overall, I'm probably going to get a lot of dislikes in the chat. You know, we could have gotten a solid tackle if Miles is very good, but hey, I like Dickerson. I have to trust my gut here. and that's the reason we made the pick. As we just got out of the first round, and ending in the first round, Martin Carr just got drafted. Jesus Christ. I am dyslexic, so I'm very slow sometimes with names. But let's take a quick look at the board. So, I mean, Owens is still there. He's really not in play for this draft pick. Here in the second round, this might be a spot we trade out, to be honest. But this also might not be. I don't know just yet. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sim to our pick. I'm gonna take our time simming though. But I'll let you guys know if there's any notable names that I really wanted to draft. As we're approaching our pick, but the Minnesota Vikings just drafted Ian Norman here. He was the tackle that I really did like. You know, he had solid both run and pass blocking. So far, not really too many surprises. No one that I really wanted to target here in the second round has gone just yet. So that's really good as we are approaching our pick, as the Bears will draft another quarterback, Devontae Minor. So we are on the clock here. So what do we do with this draft pick? You know, we don't pick again until the fourth round. So we really have to either make this pick count, or we need to trade out and really kind of get future capital. So in reality, what I have to sit here and be concerned about, because out of all of these players, there is right now, I know one that I really want to draft, and that is the tight end. I really want to get Dylan Henry here, but he is a day 3 pick, and this would just be such a reach that I don't want to draft him here. I think we can get him later on in the draft, as we have, you know, we still have 2 4s and a 6. So what do we do here? We could draft, you know, Owen Stafford here, who would be the first quarterback I drafted in this draft class, in a draft. Stafford here wouldn't be a bad option. You know, he's 22 years old. We wouldn't have a 5th-year option, though, with him. He takes calculated risk as a passer. He has good ball pressure. The question here is this. You know, we just traded for Steven James, and now we're drafting a quarterback in the second round. How much pressure are we really wanting to put on our young quarterback? And I don't know. I really don't know. It's either that or taking a guy like Jared Overstreet. No, I don't really think that we should do something like that. Lockhart here, you know, he was a safety that I like, but, you know, he has more for his speed and stuff. I just don't know. This is definitely a tough spot to be in for us, because if we trade out of this draft pick, I would want to get like a 3rd round draft pick. But what do we do? That's the question. Okay, after thinking about it for, 5 minutes now, I think what we should do is trade out of this draft pick. Try to get a 3rd round pick and try to get a draft pick for next year, and maybe draft Owen. Maybe if we can get Owen, and maybe we can get a 4th round pick too, it would really help. So let's try to make a trade here. How do we do that? Manage roster trade center. Here we go. So the deal is done. We have decided to trade the 55 overall pick to the Arizona Cardinals, get the 69th pick, as well as they gave us a 4th round draft pick this year, and we gave them a 7th. So we're trading out of this draft pick. We're dropping down about, 13 spots. I can't do mental math. To allow the Cardinals to just trade up here, we get an extra 4th round pick, and the Cardinals will draft Nelson Dickerson here. The main reason I wanted to get the extra 4th round pick here is because, maybe we could use it to, trade up if we need to, but it also allows us the ability to get a couple other prospects here. As Overstreet did go, he was the, or Lockhart, excuse me, he was the safety that I really did like, but I just didn't see an opportunity to draft him. So as we are getting near our 3rd round draft pick, a pick that we just traded for, this is going to be an interesting spot here because I kind of have a few players that I would draft right here. The quarterback, Owen, wouldn't be a bad option. The tight end wouldn't be a bad option. But Larrbearxd, he was the middle linebacker that I was going to consider to draft at this spot here. Didn't get him. That's okay. But here in the 3rd round, this makes me a little easier for me to kind of justify it in my head. We're going to draft Owen Stafford here. I think we're going to be able to get Dylan Henry with our first 4th round draft pick. And I think just because of the fact that I like Owen here, hey, who knows how good he can be. We'll draft him. We'll see how he can do. So Owen Stafford's the pick. He has 92 throw power, but he has hidden development. And all of this athletic traits here tells me that he is a pocket passer. So hidden development though. Wow. So here in the 3rd round, we got ourselves, potentially a future backup or a future starter. We're putting pressure now on Steven James here. We need to make sure that, either Owen or James is the future at quarterback. So as we just are entering into the 4th round here, so far we have drafted in the 1st round an off-ball linebacker and a quarterback. Now, as we're entering into the 4th round, which we have 3 draft picks, now there has been a mini run on tight end, which, as we're entering into our draft pick, we know this selection here. This is the reason we kind of traded up to get this draft pick here. And I'm not going to think too hardly about this. I think Dylan here will be a solid contributor. He's 21 years old. He has 8 catching. He's a possession tight end. And overall, he's going to be the draft pick. But he has hidden development with 85 speed, 78 strength here. He's an athlete. He was a very good athlete in this draft class, and I really am happy we got a hidden dev tight end here. Wow, what a draft pick here. He's 6'6", he's a big boy. As we pick again here in now 11 spots. So now here in the 4th round, this is kind of where a little bit more action can definitely happen. There's a few players that are still on my board that I would like to hit on. That defensive tackle has yet to go. He would definitely be an option here with this next pick. Maybe taking an offensive lineman. Dalvin Collins, he was another player that I was considering with this draft pick, but, he's just went. But hey, I think it's right now, it's either taking York or someone else. Let's go check out the draft board here. We do have another 4th round pick here. So let's check out this board. So York, and we have a lot of offensive linemen here. So I think just because of the fact that I'm not going to draft a kicker, and I don't think I should draft a running back here, I think we'll draft David York here. He's a project, I think. So York is a draft pick, 86 strength, normal dev. He's not much of an athlete, so hopefully he's a run stopper. So hopefully he can come in here and, we can develop him. Very happy with this pick if he has a solid overall. Not hidden dev though. We've hit on 2 of those, but we shall see. We do have another pick coming up here. I don't really know what I want to do with this draft pick, to be honest with you guys. This might be a pick that we just kind of trade out of. Try to get a future, maybe a future 3rd round pick. Even so, this might also just be a pick that we just draft someone. Let's go see what the board is. Tim Caldwell, hey, he's a wide receiver. Carl Flower here. Another wide receiver. I would like to draft a wide receiver. I would like to add a little competition there. And I don't really know what I want to do with this pick. I think we'll just take the best player available. I don't usually like to make multiple trades in a draft class. So Tim Caldwell here from Clemson. Let's go see him. I have catching traffic here. He is not the fastest kid. I am not going to draft a bust here in the 4th round. Let's see Earl. Earl save me. Okay, Earl, you're not good either. Yeah. Dalton Warmark. Okay, Z-zone coverage from Clemson here. No, not bad in speed. He has solid speed. An athletic profile. I know he will catch the football. Catching. Let's go with Dalton here. Let's draft another linebacker. We'll see what Dalton Warmark can do. I've been drafting a lot of linebackers in this series, and why not another one? So 82 speed, 90 acceleration. I really think we just drafted, but we can kind of continue to be drafting over these last few classes. But Dalton here, Mac here, they gotta keep kind of different, just completely butchering his name. But Dalton here, he's the pick here in the 4th round. Let's go now, just sim all the way to the 6th. Let's just advance to our next draft pick. There's no one else in this draft class that I really want to target. We really hit on 2 prospects that I really liked. We got a luxury, I think, in Owen, and we took the chance here on Dalton. Hey, Tim is still out there. Paul Goodwin, another defensive tackle. If my favorite offensive lineman is still on the board, I will definitely draft him. Let's see. And he is not. So we have Zane Ellis and Rashad Dickerson. Okay. Sorry, I wrote these guys' names down and really wanted to make sure. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll take another chance here. Now we could draft a kicker, Chris Seasons here. Kick accuracy, don't know anything else. Don't know his kicking strength. Doesn't give me that. Is that not part of like a kicker's what's it called? Player card when you look at them? I have no idea. Okay, let's just go through. Let's just think about a position that we want to draft here. Let me go quickly take a look at the roster. What's a spot that needs a 6th round rookie that could add some competition? That's what I want to do with this 6th round pick. You guys know me. I love my draft picks, no matter where they're being drafted. I don't think we need to go for a linebacker. We could go for a defensive end. We could try to get a corner. Those are 2 spots. We could take a shot at a running back. I could just say kind of fuck it. We could draft an offensive line. You know what? Let's go for a defensive lineman. Let's go get a pass rusher. You know what? Why not? You guys know me. I love my pass rushers. And let's go see if there's like a good, defensive pass rusher that can come in here, go get the quarterback. Let's look at these 4 players. Jamal Graham here. And that tells me no, I'm not going to draft Jamal here. I know I'm probably going to be taking like 5 minutes on this draft pick. Mitch Pertman here. Hey, power moves. He's automatically the first player on this board. Ahmad Shepard here. I don't know anything about this kid, so no, I'm good. And then Tim Parker. We're just gonna go with Mitch here, Mitch Perman. Is A, power moves? So why not? C, block shedding? Hey, come in here, be a solid contributor. 79 strength, 79 speed, 84 acceleration. Hey, if this kid's like a 60, I don't know, 66 overall, 62, I would be happy. But that is the draft class, guys. You know, we drafted, some good young prospects. I really like the first round pick for a future. This is definitely much more of a future type of draft class, with maybe some more just solid contributors for the future. So okay, perfect. Okay, well, I thought we were gonna get a bug, but let's go check out the recap. Let's go see some overalls. Let's go check out this draft class a little bit. I know this episode is going to be very long. Invalidated key. What the fuck? Okay, who cares? Okay, so wow, Theodore Dickerson here, 74 overall. He is more of a run stopper. But hey, okay, so he has 65 zone coverage. You know, we knew he was going to be a solid as an athlete. But he's definitely much more of a run stopper. 99 injury is very good. He's definitely going to be a focused player. He's definitely a guy that will get on the field. I'm very happy with this pick here. He will be our third linebacker on this defense, definitely. Owen Stafford here, 65 overall with hidden depth. What is his accuracies like? So he's definitely more of a deep ball. Gotta work on everything. He definitely has some work to do. I'll say it like that, but hidden dev will give him opportunities. Dylan Henry here, 75 overall. Much more of a possession receiver. Solid blocking, 68 blocking. I know Morrell's hurting him, but hey, that's solid for a potential number 2 tight end here. You know, we'll see what Dylan can become. We might have a very good dominant tight end group. David York here, 72 overall. Very happy with this pick. From a run stopping perspective, hey, he'll learn behind Grover Stewart for a year, and he could easily take over that role. But that 84 injury does lead me to have some sort of concern. Dalton Warmark, I knew this wasn't a good draft pick. I should have never drafted him, but hey, why not? Maybe a practice squad player. Worst case scenario, he plays special teams. And then Mitch here, hey, you know, he's a big defensive end. He's probably more of a defensive tackle, but he doesn't have the strength to do so, in my opinion. But he's a big boy, 76 power moves. Very happy with this pick here in the 6th round. Good competition. Let's go check out the rest of this draft class real quick, as this is a very long recording so far. We'll just kind of go through round by round real quick. So, well, actually, no, let's do it like this. So the highest overall player is Akeem Jackson going to the Saints, and then Colbert here going to the Packers. He's an 80 overall, so 2 top tier talents in this draft class. And let's go check out, let's just go to the first round. Let's go by pick. So let's go see some of these players. Let's see like Don Duck. Where's Don Duck? 75 overall here. Hidden dev, 21 years old. 97 speed. Oh my goodness. Wow. He could have been... Wow. Missed out on this draft pick, and I'm blanking on the receiver's name that we drafted in the Falcons franchise, but he could have been that kid. Damn. That's okay, though. Let's go see any other. Jerry Robinson here. Okay, normal dev. Also a deep threat. Very good speed. I would have been happy with either of these 2 draft picks, but never had the opportunity. Let's check out Reuben Hill. Hidden development. Damn. Not as, but doesn't have the, we drafted the kid with the better zone coverage. Reuben is faster, but hey, he would have been a nice draft pick to come to this team. Will Ellis, by the end of it, he was another player. He also has hidden dev, and very good speed. but we still drafted the kid with the better zone coverage. And then Brandon Mills here. I mean, we could have drafted a future tackle, to be honest with you guys. I didn't want to pull the trigger on Mills, and I'm kind of happy we didn't. I mean, we did miss out, you know, Dalvin Springs here, who is a hidden dev receiving elevated type of runner. I'm actually kind of happy I didn't draft him. You know, he needs a little bit of work. The hidden dev definitely helps. But no one else here in the first round. Let's see. Martin here. Yeah, solid backup. I don't know. In the second round, so who was players that I wanted? Let's see. I'm not seeing anyone. Yeah, no one really went. So yeah, Ian Norman, hidden dev. Oh damn, he would have been a nice draft pick if we could have got him. But at 84 strength, that strength really deterred me from wanting to draft him. But still a solid player. Hidden dev is always nice to get. This is the draft pick we traded for, and this is what the Cardinals got. Solid running back, Nelson Richardson. Oh, he'll be a solid contributor for a team. Nothing special, but still. Here's Lockhart. You know, he was a kid that I felt could have been good. Speed, though, isn't great. Yeah. You know, he also has an injury concern. Lockhart wouldn't have been a bad option, but hey, not too upset with that, with missing out on him. Here in the third round, Larrbearxd. Oh man, 73 overall, hidden dev linebacker. Why do I always find the good linebackers just never draft them? 91 speed. He would have been an excellent pick too. 69 zone coverage, nice, very good in terms of injury. Yeah, Jaden here would have been a very good pick, but you know, we didn't know, so hey, that's okay. No one else here. Jared Overstreet. He was another kid I wrote down. 71 zone or 71 overall hidden development. I'm just finding all the hidden dev players apparently. Very good contributor. And I think in terms of the rest of the picks, I don't think I'm gonna know or not gonna remember anyone. Oh yeah, let's see. Dalvin Collins here, 68 overall. You know, 90. He would have been between the two Dalvins. He would have been the player, at least just from a developmental perspective. He would have been the player that I would have rather drafted. But hey, I think overall this was a very good draft class. I'm very happy what we were able to accomplish here. So let's sim to the next week. Let's sim to year number 4. As now we enter the preseason. So I'm going to be doing the preseason a little differently. Usually I kind of just sim past this and just get right into the action. I think I'm going to do it a little differently this time, especially because we have this. I want to see how James plays. You know, we now have 2 young quarterbacks behind him. You know, and overall, we have a lot of young prospects on this team that we want to kind of see how good they can be. So I'm going to play the preseason this year. It's going to be probably like a 30-minute video, just highlights, probably mostly focusing on the backups and the quarterback situation. I do see we have 7 spots open, and I know we have cap space, so let's quickly go through free agency and see who's out there that we could bring in here for competition. I mean, Tom Brady is still out there. I'm not going to bring in Brady, but hey. But let's go see if there's any intriguing undrafted rookies. So let's bring in Chris Seasons here. He's a kicker here. 87 kick power. He's 71 overall. You know, hey, for backup right now, bring a little competition to Justin Tucker. He doesn't have to do all the kicking this year. From a run stopping perspective, let's bring in Manny Bush. You know, he has solid run stopping ability, and you know, he's fast. Let's also bring in Reggie Woods here. very good speed, solid acceleration, but at 71 catching definitely intrigues me, and he could be a solid contributor. Maybe a practice squad player. Let's also bring Ben Toon in here. 93 speed, 93 acceleration. Kind of excited to see what he could potentially bring to the table. We'll also bring in here Sean Parks, who's much more of a man cover corner, but I like his press and man. I think he's, from an athletic standpoint, he's solid. Let's also bring in here Jamichael Manning, who's a little bit more of a zone cover corner, also solid press. You know, just bringing in competition here in the secondary. Why not? Let's also bring in James Samuels. You know, he's 59 overall, but hey, he has 70 zone coverage and he's a good athlete. What more do you want? Why not? And the final player we'll bring in Jamarcus Ryans here, who needs help in the zone coverage, but as a tackler, he's good. You know, really like that hit power, tackle, and pursuit. So we'll bring him in here. Ryans will be the last player we bring in here. Actually, he won't be. We'll actually have to make a cut. We'll actually cut him. Actually, no. Here, Floyd, we don't need him at the quarterback spot. We're not going to keep Floyd. So that's going to be the 75-man roster entering into this preseason. So, now after bringing in the draft class, after bringing in some rookies, this is the auto-generated best lineup team that we have right now. Steven James, the new starting quarterback, Elijah Moore looking like the new #1 receiver. I probably will not put him there. I'll probably end up still keeping Brandon Cooks. I've not checked out the regression for this team, but Cooks, I still think he can play that #1 receiver role still with those ratings. In terms of the defensive side of the ball, we'll change some things around, but hey, really like the additions to that I was able to make. And we'll probably move some players around. Very excited to see what we can do here. I know today was a longer episode. I rant too much during these off seasons, but hey, you know what? This is why you guys come to my channel. So guys, please leave a like, comment down below what you thought. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know down below what you guys thought of the off season. Did I do a good job? Did I do a terrible job? Should I have gone in a completely different direction? Let me know down below. And guys, I will see you in the next one.